welcome to our Tea Time series that our lovely head of events has been doing, Jordan, and she's pulled together some wonderful guests for you guys so far, for those that have maybe gone to the other ones. And our second to last tea time here, we have here with us the wonderful Umaimah Damaka.
Yay.
Woohoo! Umaimah!
Hi.
Umaimah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Umaimah? What does Umaimah do? Why?
Yes.
Why
First
is
of all,
why is Umaimah?
why is Umaimah? I love that question. Hey everyone. First of all, of course, thank you so much for having me, Bree and Jordan. I always love talking with Black and Animated. The first time I spoke here, it was like with other peers, and I had such a great time. So I was really excited to get you guys' email. And with that, hey everyone, thanks for showing up for this. I really appreciate it. I love sharing anything I can about working in the industry because I know I would have loved that growing up or getting into, the industry. So to start out, hi, I'm Umaimah and I'm Nigerian. So I did not grow up in the US. I kind of came here to study animation in 2016. I moved from Nigeria to Atlanta, and I studied animation at SCAD. I fell in love with it because I was watching so much cool stuff like Totally Spies, Winx, Witch, the abbreviation, all the girly
Yeah.
good stuff, like the Barbie movies. I was in love with it. Anything that had to do with like too much, that had so much pink and magic, I was there, front and center. So I also, unfortunately, a lot of these shows did not have Black girls, and that kind of hurt a little bit, as I grew up. And I kind of just wanted to lean more into that with my work, where my characters would look like they're from shows like that, but instead they're like dark skinned like me and all the other girls I grew up with. So right now I am in LA. I moved from Atlanta to LA in like 2020, or starting 2021, pandemic, when we were in pandemic hell, basically. And I have worked as like a prop designer, color, character designer, visual development. I just love art as a whole. So I keep trying, like I just keep trying to like put my legs into everything. Every time it's like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh wait, I have a list. And now if you follow my social media, I'm sure you see that I've been doing graphic design too. It's like I need to chill, but I love drawing and designing so much. It brings me so much joy. So I just like anything I feel like I can afford to do, I will do it. So yeah.
I don't think anybody would tell you that you need to chill. If anything, people would tell you like, wow, you are a jack of all trades, and can I get those digits so I can give you money to make it?
It's more my mom. She's like, rest. Oh my rest. Because like I'm also doing my visa. So that's another like hell on its own. I need to chill. I mean, it's fair. It's okay. I admit it. I'm having fun with it, but I will eventually. So at the moment, I'm actually studying. I am in a class for graphic design. I'm like getting a certificate for it. But on the other hand, I'm like freelancing here and there. I just finished character designing for a company in Canada, and I'm gonna move to doing prop design for this really awesome thing. And that I can talk about, of course. So I
was gonna say, it sounds like it's an NDA thing, huh?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
But so I've done like visual development and all that with studios like Disney, Bento Box, Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon. And right now, apart from art, I usually spend time with my cats, listening to audiobooks, eating a lot of Oreos recently for some reason. I just went back into that addiction, and there's no coming out anytime soon. So that's a little about me. I hope I shared enough, or I didn't share too much.
I think that was a good like a a crash course on who is Umaimah, what is
Thank
Umaimah,
you.
why
Thank
is
you.
Umaimah.
Why is Umaima? Thank you.
Well,
It
and that's the end of the webinar.
is.
Because I know I'm
Bye.
kidding. No,
It's all about the Oreos.
yeah, it's all about the oil. This is what we want to talk about. But yeah, like you really are like you've got your hands in a lot of different aspects of design. And I mean, we worked together on Proud Family. About to say back in the day, what, like that was like 2 years
Back in
ago.
the day.
That was like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it literally was like
And
2 years ago.
and I guess if you I'm sure you've spoken about this on other panels too, but for those that might not be familiar with the work that you've done, because working on Proud Family, that was your first industry job, correct? What was
Yeah.
that experience like with working on that show?
Mm.
And just like how did you, especially like, as someone green coming in, like did it ever feel intimidating? Did you ever feel like, oh no, I got this? Like what was that like?
Mm. Oh my God, it was scary. And I think one part of it that was scary for me was that I kind of got reached out to before even graduating at the time. So I was overwhelmed with like my senior film. And
Mm,
I was also overwhelmed with like, I need to find a job because as an international student, we have like 30 or 60 or 90 days to like look
right.
for work or we have to leave basically. So I was stressed about that. I was stressed about school. I was stressed about graduating, so many things, pandemic. But when I got that email, it was like I had my mind was so blown. And I think up till now, I literally cannot believe it. I just don't sit and think too much into it. But I feel like if I sit down and I'm like really thinking about it, it's crazy because I was like the Disney kid in high school. I was not like cool, So it's like to find myself in a place where they're like, hey, we want you to work for us was a dream for me. And I kind of went from excitement to anxiety. It was like constantly flipping back and forth between those. And the good thing is, when I started the work, though, everyone was so, so nice and
Mm,
like understanding and welcoming, to me, even though I was like the newbie, I think
mhm.
at the time. Yeah, and my art director, Eastwood, which is like the best thing you can hope for if you're coming in as a designer, a very like understanding and patient art director. But I would feel so bad if he explained something to me and I didn't understand it, but he'll just be like, no, it's okay. Here's what I mean, because I'm new. So I'm sure he understood that. And there's no crime in not getting it the
Mm,
first time or
yeah.
even second or third time, not gonna lie, unless if it's like some devastating huge thing. But not understanding what like your assignments are is completely normal. It's completely okay to ask for help. And for me, if I felt like I was bugging one person too much, I like rotated them. So that
Sounds like the Rolodex of people to ask questions to. Like,
right, yeah,
okay, I
so
asked
that
you already. I'm gonna ask you now. Okay, I'll come back to you. All right, I'm done
exactly.
with that.
Exactly. So that way I don't get stressed about like one person feeling like, oh my God, here she is again. I'm sure no one felt like that, but anxiety doesn't really tell you
I remember
rational
you
stuff.
got kind of antsy asking me questions.
Mm-hmm.
I was a coordinator for people who don't know on the show. And Umaima would ask me for stuff, and I remember you being like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "Why are
So
you?"
sorry.
It's my
I would
job
like
to help you.
I would like apologize, then I'll run to Andrea, like, hey Andrea, how you doing? I want some help with this, please. And then she's like, okay, sure. And I would like do all the dramatics in my head, then everyone else is like chill and like, oh man, you need to calm down. So starting out on that show was so amazing for me because of that. Like to start out in a group of people that immediately made me felt like their friend.
Mm,
That's all you can hope for. You don't want your first experience to be something that kind of makes you jaded. And I am so glad that that didn't happen, because then even if I do move to a production, that like I don't enjoy, I can be like, okay, I know I started out good and I probably would find myself in that good place again. So
Yeah.
I would say like getting into it was much, the harder part was my brain. Like I was the one making it harder for myself than anyone else really. If not, it was like smooth sailing.
No, yeah, I think that's important to bring up because like,
Mhm.
a lot of us, I mean, everybody's got anxiety, whether you think you do or don't. Like,
Yeah.
like, I think that, like, we've all got it and we all get in our heads about all number of things, especially as creatives, whether you're on the production side or like the art side.
Mhm.
And we tend to just like, think we're bothering people and like getting
Yeah.
nervous about that stuff. And when in reality, it's like, it's okay to ask questions, and you bringing up the fact that like this show for your first experience was good to prepare you for like, if you get a job that you don't like that's really important too, because
Mhm.
like I think a lot of people don't understand when they're, especially like a lot of young hopefuls that might still be in school, that there's all these cool shows out here, but sometimes it is just work for people, and some people might hate being on it. Like that thing that's your
Yeah.
favorite to watch might be somebody's
Yeah.
nightmare to be on, and it can make
Yes.
them kind of jaded, especially if it's like your first thing and you're like,
Yeah.
man, is all animation like this? So not no one not every show is the same to be on, and
Yeah.
sometimes some shows are just a paycheck.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Some
literally.
Times it's like that, but luckily there are those times where, in your case, getting one is like getting one is like I lost my train of thought. Getting like that first
Sorry.
one, getting that first one is like is a blessing that it was like fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think what made me even more comfortable with it was the fact that I could see other Black faces there. I feel like I would have been, I think it was like a week before I got to Proud, where I was looking at like staff pictures of some shows on Disney, some shows, and like just seeing the full, like the whole crew, and it's like white person, white person, white person, like no person of color. I was like, oh shit, I am nervous now because I don't know. There's something to be said about a team that's like filled with like people from different backgrounds. I feel like, especially me as like an immigrant who is already just getting used to like living in the country, I then have to get used to even like different cultures that I haven't been familiar with. But at the same time, I'm also meeting people that I have been familiar with because people are from around like the
Mm,
world here. So it's always more, I get more comfortable that way because I know I can be like more authentic with myself and I can be more comfortable with myself. And
mm.
so the minute I had that one first meeting that saw everyone, I was like, the huge sigh of relief. I'm like, thank God that I'm gonna have like, this group of people to work with. So I think that really matters. And
Mm.
I just I hope we're gonna keep seeing like more of that as we're making content, especially as we are making content that's, about like people of color. I would like to see more of us in like the background. So I
Mm.
think Proud Family having that really made it even all the more comfortable for me starting
Mm.
out. Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I hope we see more of that, like more shows that look like that, and
Mhm.
even on screen too. You know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Um, I'm curious. So, like, after your time on Proud, especially just because I'm sure a lot of the people watching are hearing the whispers in the wind that may not be as in tune to the industry, who might be like hopefuls or might be like fans, what have you, are probably curious about like, the drought that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And could you speak a little bit on like kind of what you're doing to sort of like stay afloat during this drought that's happening in the industry? And I guess to sort of like put into perspective for people who don't really understand what's going on, like um if you are like an animation fan, you might be seeing that there are a lot of people who are out of work at the moment. And that's just because, there's not really a lot of green lights happening, a lot of shows being canceled. The streaming bubble has effectively, I guess, kind of burst a bit. And everybody is sort of just doing what they can until we swing back in the up and up. We're in a bit of a dip right now, and it probably looks scary to the hopefuls breaking in.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And especially in my case, like I felt like my drought started way early because my visa wasn't allowing me to like do any, like full-time work here. So I have actually been like struggling with even getting just full-time work because of that. So any even chance I get, it doesn't happen. It's just like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. But what I've been doing to just help myself is doing little freelance gigs right now. I think that has been very helpful. And I take my commissions, I don't only just focus on like professional or like commercial work, like just so I can keep having like money coming in. That way I'm like making money on my own too, not only for like studios. And I'm also eyeing a lot of the smaller studios are opening up freelance positions and they're like reaching out to people. So that's also one way for me to like earn something. And I mentioned graphic design earlier, and that's not just coming from thin air. I did want to do graphic design in the beginning before I understood what animation was, like growing up. And now that I kind of got to an age where I was like, oh, actually, I still want to do it. But also, I feel like it'll be so great to kind of have that under my wing if I feel like I'm not getting the stability I want in animation, or we're in a drought, like you say. Every company needs a graphic designer. Like,
right.
Yeah. So that's another thing that I can, dip my toe in. And right now, I'm not really looking for graphic design jobs because I'm just making my portfolio and learning what it looks like. But I am hoping by like the end of the year, I would have a full portfolio for that. So basically, it's just a little bit about getting like extra skills that are very similar to what I'm already learning. Like I'm not going and doing like business or something, which I tried, did not enjoy that. But I'm doing something that's like quite close to what I'm already learning. So yeah, there's that. And I think those are like the little things that I'm doing to help myself out right now.
You mentioned like portfolio building. I know you were kind of talking about the graphic design stuff, but I kind of want to go back to like, that very first portfolio that you had that helped you acquire your Proud Family job. And I'm sure that some of the design hopefuls might be curious to, like, what did you have in your portfolio that you felt was a factor in the art director being like, come here?
I feel like
and like what do you recommend
in
a portfolio?
Yeah. The truth is I could feel the shift. Like I could feel when the shift happened with my portfolio, and like people were like, want to come work with us? Because like at first I was doing a lot of like drawing the girls that I like to draw in like cute dresses and everything, and that's fine, but that isn't specifically catered to animation. Like with animation, they kind of want to see that if you're a character designer, you can design characters, you can design facial expressions, you understand like anatomy and exaggeration of anatomy. If you're going into background or color design, you understand color theory, lighting, and all that jazz. So basically what happened was there was just like a switch in my brain where I was like, we need to be serious right now. And I think this was basically like a year before I graduated, because the minute I was looking at like the deportation situation, I was like, okay, we need to get real. We need to get serious. And basically, I remember so clearly one of the first pieces I did that I'm a little confident, like Eastwood might have seen, and like made him like bring me on, was this hut that I did in different timing of the day. It was like very early in the morning, in the noon, and then like at night, you know, and yeah, because I feel like that was the strongest piece I had to show that I understood color theory or lighting. So in my head, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely the thing that made him bring me on. And then when I got promoted to like prop design was like 5 days before I did this like this dev piece of like a character and her prop being like her vehicle and stuff. So I also feel like that led to that. So, you know, it could just be looking at what people that are already professionals and are already in the industry have in their portfolio and trying to kind of emulate the quality of the things that they have and also the theme of the stuff that they have. So, you know, the minute I was just looking at like, what am I seeing on screen in a cartoon? That's definitely what I need to have in my portfolio.
Is it this one?
Yeah. So that one was like 5 days before Eastwood reached out to me and he's like, we want to bring you on for props. And I was so scared. I was like, are you sure? I don't think I can do props.
Like, me? Are you sure about this?
Like, oh, baby, you can do it. It's okay. So yeah, I feel like sometimes all it can take is literally one strong piece, you know, like I know it might look like a lot is more, but literally you need like that one strong piece to kind of show that you understand your things. And that can just like help with recruiters and with art directors.
I'm sorry, I'm showing off your portfolio, but you were talking about the pieces. So I was like, this would be a good visual to share with everyone.
It's okay. Thank you. Yeah, always. Like, I think my best friend is always references in everything, in portfolio, in making art, in portfolio, reference the people, in making art, reference the people, and also reference real life. Like, that's what you want to do, you know?
And some of Umaimah's beautiful Proud Family work, if you haven't seen it. Just hyping you up.
Thank you. Thank you. I miss this show. It was so fun.
And specifically here, your role was as a color designer. So you helped pick the color choices for these outfits, correct?
Yeah. So I'll do like the spacesuit, the NASA suit, I would like do 4 variations of that. And, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 if I'm feeling like I have time and I'm having fun with it. And then Eastwood will just select the one that he wants, the one that kind of goes more with the character's personality and with everyone else that's around them, because you kind of have to be sure you're not clashing color palettes of the characters at the same time. Like, I think a perfect example of that was like La Brea and her cousin, where when I was coloring her, I was just like, I can't think of anyone in like Penny's posse that's has yellow as their color, you know. And so that was literally the first variation I did, and then there were others, but even just from that, I was telling you, so I was like, I don't know, I can't think of like anyone who's like the yellow person, like, you know, mustard yellow person. And then we just immediately went for this because then she sticks out versus like everyone else. Yeah.
Oh, I remember you had a lot of fun with her.
Oh my God, this was like, my heart leapt when I got this character to color. I was so happy because if you follow my work, you know that I do a lot of like Black girls in pink, just like glam, bright, pretty, girly. So the minute I saw her, I was like, you're gonna be very dark and you're gonna be so pink. Like, that was my rule. I was putting my foot down. I was going for like the Barbie look here.
Yes.
Because I have done like a Barbie piece before where she was like a dark girl, but I still gave her blonde hair and pink outfit. So that was just the immediate inspiration for her. And
I go straight to her with the rest of the family too.
I know. I'm like, I am sorry to yes to y'all, but Peaches is like,
her name's Peaches, of course.
Yeah. I was like, she is my girl. So I have to take a little more care for it.
And prop work that you did. So you went from being you started off as doing color design for Proud Family, and then like you worked your way to doing props as well. And we've talked about kind of like the I've said before that like it kind of feels like you're becoming a bit of a jack of all trades in a way. And sometimes I know that like let me stop sharing. I know that like it's kind of told that like you should always focus on one thing, but do you feel that that isn't necessarily always true for design? Or do you feel that maybe like that's something that you should start to do, but once you break in, it's okay to like just go ham, like boom, 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 you know?
Yeah. I think there's like, it's a 50-50 situation with that statement, because coming out of SCAD, I did feel like I had to pick one in design. You know, I had to pick like character design or color or prop or background or whatever. Like I couldn't do all of it. And I remember at that time, I was strictly focused on character design for sure. Like that was all my head was going to. But then the minute I got reached out to for color, I was like, okay, let's try that. And then I got promoted for prop. I was like, okay, well, perfect. That means I don't have to like pick one. And then at the same time, even while doing that, I was freelancing and doing character designs for other stuff. So that was just proof that if I wanted to like do all of it, I could handle it. Now, this is definitely about, you know, like your level of comfort, your work, how much workload you're able to handle, and how comfortable, you know, you feel with tackling everything. So I would say like think about that. But if it's something you think you can handle, there's no reason to limit yourself. Like it's art. At the end of the day, it's animation, but it's art. You should be allowed to like, you know, play around with it and extend your hand into different aspects of it as much as you want to, honestly. Like that's my theory. On the other hand, if it's like you want to do storyboarding and designing and production, now that starts getting a little more unrealistic, and it will take a toll on you. Can you do it? Probably. I know a lot of people who have like art directed and have also directed. So that's basically you know, production versus like design. But
yeah, like Tara.
Yeah, exactly.
Tara was doing design and then she became a storyboard director, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So you could do it if you want to. That's just it. Like the only limit is like your health.
Yes.
That's it, which is more important than drawing. Sorry, guys.
It's just cartoons. At the end of the day, it is just cartoons. Like,
exactly.
This is not something that we need to die over. You know,
you should be having fun with it and not like hate yourself or make your body suffer for it. You know? Yeah.
So this is something that I think probably should be discussed as well. That like, you know, you are, like you mentioned, you are from Nigeria and you are someone who is here international and working and having like visa stuff. What I and especially because, you know, we have, you know, the diaspora of Black artists to consider, and there are probably other African artists who are trying to come over here and work. What are things that if you could tell them to look out for when trying to work over here, or even people just outside of, not even just in Africa, people just outside of the US in general, when they're trying to work here, what are some red tape things that people probably don't think are part of like, you know, the work situation here?
Yeah. I want to say money, but that's a lie. I feel like everyone definitely thinks about it, but
everyone thinks about money.
But I want to be clear for international students, think of how everyone thinks about money and like triple it. That's how much you have to be thinking about the money in your situation. Because when there's like rules against you working, that means that the stable income you could be getting that everyone else could be getting, you're not going to get it. I can't work in like a coffee shop or retail job now. I cannot.
Oh, I had no idea.
It has to be directly linked to like your major. So that's the only way you can work. So you see how that already like closes off so many like chances of a job for you. And you have to think about that. And I promise I'm not even joking when I say this. think of therapy and medications when you're doing this, like for international students, because I truly believe that it is intense. And like, while we all like romanticize it because it's about chasing your dream at the end of the day, you know, like doing something you want to do. But it is so important to take care of your mental health. And like the kind of the place you get to where you're on edge of thinking constantly, oh my God, am I going to get like kicked out, or am I not going to find a job? You will need like good support system for that. If it's not therapy, make sure you have a good community around you for that, because I think it's fair to say no normal human being would be like smiling and be all jumpy about that. Like that will stress you out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important to make sure that you're thinking about your mental health as you're doing this, because it is triple the work or even quadruple the work if you're coming here. You know, it's not going to be as easy as everyone around you, and it's good to accept that, because then that lets you kind of work with yourself and also work with your mental health as a whole, because you're like, okay, I know these are my obstacles and I need to start looking for things that would help me deal with these obstacles and stabilize me as I do that. So sorry to get a little dark there, but I just think it's so important, because no one talks about
not
it.
dark at all.
You know, yeah.
It's
like
so
no
important.
One, it's so important because it is a lot. It's not fun to kind of get job offers from companies that would be like, we want you on, and you get so excited, like, oh my God, the visa hell is done. And then the minute you're like, oh, I'm on visa, they will take the job offer back. So it's, your emotions are going to be played with, and it is back and forth. But, you know, for me, I think what just keeps me going is that I keep thinking, I know that when I deal with the hurdle of the visa, it's going to be okay. Like, I'm trying to just hold on to things, don't really last forever. Like before I graduated, I was stressed about not even finding the job, but then I did, and that was okay for a while. And now with like my visa clock ticking, I'm going to be worried about this, but I know eventually after that, it will be okay too. And also I have like amazing support system around me. You know, I have like my friends, my family, my girlfriend, and that all is very helpful to like just ground me and remind me that there's other things out there apart from this one thing that I'm reaching for. So I think that's like something I wish I could just hold every person's hand and be like, be prepared, you will be stressed, but it's okay. There's people around you, like people love you, and it's gonna be okay, and you're gonna be able to take care of it. And I guess, I mean, there's so many things, but you know, there's also to always think about lawyers for whatever you're doing. Like if you don't have a lawyer, a lot of chances you're going to miss something, or you're going to lead into a situation where your visa gets rejected. So try your best to see if you can save up for a lawyer and work with them. And on the other hand, there's also resources for you. There's a Discord group that's specifically for LA expats too, where all of us that are like in the industry and are from outside of the country talk with each other. And I'm saying this thing has been like, that group has been the most helpful tool for me, because I see professionals going there to be like, guys, I am so tired. Today was hard. You know, this job offer fell through. And it's just so like, it's heartbreaking, but it's good to know you're not alone in that also. You know, there's like other people too that would be there to hear you out. And if someone, you know, is like sharing that, we all come to be like, it's okay, we got you and all that. So once again, community. And yeah, I'm so passionate about the international thing. It's not fun, but I think those are some of the answers I can give you. But you know, my DMs are always open on Twitter and Instagram if anyone has something specific to ask me. Yeah.
Hey, that is a important reality to share, because like, you know, we have like these discussions about how like the job market is really hard, and it's like, you know, it's quadruple hard for people like yourself who are international folks that are over here trying to get work, because like, you know, we're trying to break in but
Yeah.
the window margin is even like tighter for you guys, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I there are a lot of younger folks who, you know, can use this information and like probably feel like some sense of relief and hope just by hearing what you said, like, oh, okay, so there is a way, there are resources, there are things I can do. So
Yeah.
I think that's really valuable information to share, Umaima. Like it's really
Thank you.
important.
Thank you.
And
And sorry, can
oh, go ahead.
like one more thing for Africans specifically, you will find that you're gonna be alone in a lot of situations in those things. Because let me tell you, I have looked front and back, like looking around for other African international expats, like in the animation industry. And right now I have two friends, but none of them from like looking for people online. So
Mm,
you will be looking for more people because, you know, whether we like it or not, I truly believe there's a different way that like other countries view people that come from African countries. And I
mm,
think that we wouldn't have as much of the benefit to like get there as others. So there is that difference. And is that going to be even more annoying? Yes. But can you get through it? Yes, you can. And, you know, as always, looking for those people that have also gone through it. So right now, my two friends, I basically, one is Ife, who people might know, he's a storyboard artist, popular on Instagram too, I think. And he got here through an O1 visa. And then my other friend wrote to me. I found him by borderline stalking him. I told him, please. I was looking for like Nigerian artists to like talk to and just relate with. And you know, three of us became like really nice friends. And
mm.
so yeah.
All right. Umaima, give me 1 second. It is getting kind of dark in the room that I'm in. I'm just going to
Oh,
turn the light
okay.
on very fast. So,
Okay.
Umaima solo stream for like 3 seconds.
Oh, wait, Amanita, come here. Let me show you guys my cat. Come here, Amanita. Come say hi. I'm sure everyone wants to see cats.
Hey, yeah. Oh, she's so beautiful.
Hi.
Like a
Her name is
kaleidoscope.
Amanita.
Cat. Oh, now the light's all messed up.
The disembodied voice will come in. Help host.
This is all she has wanted. She just wants all the attention on her and to be called cute. Right?
You're so sweet.
Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's better. Sorry, it was like getting really dark in here and I'm like, what is going on?
Lighting.
I probably should have done this before stream. Sorry.
It's okay. You're fine.
Well, Amanita got to come on. So did she?
Yeah.
I'm sure she told everybody how to get a job and
Yeah.
yeah, all that good stuff.
She has more experience than me, clearly, as you can see. She doesn't have to pay anything.
Well, it is 2:45 and we have time. Like we're not done at 3. We're done around 3:15-ish, but I would like to get into a bit of Q&A because it looks like, whoa, we got questions already popping off here. We got some cues. Got some cues. We're gonna give you some A's, hopefully. All right, so let's do this first one. Let me take a look here. I'm gonna try to go in order. Oh, okay. So we have one from, I am so sorry, I'm going to pronounce your name wrong. Inez Akumutima. Are you interested in becoming a mentor at any point in your career?
Hi, Inez. Thank you for your question. Yes, I am actually. And honestly, the only reason I am not doing that right now is because of the workload that I have. But my hope is that if I get my visa, I take like 1 year for just myself. I need like a vacation, guys. So I'm going to take like that break for myself and just relax and not think about other things, basically, except for, you know, maybe the full-time work that I might be doing. But after that, I really do want to become a mentor. And specifically, I want to start targeting like Nigerian or African like artists first, and then, you know, I can open it up more to everyone, just because we did not grow up in the best like art encouraging society. Like I feel like people didn't around the world in a general sense, but there's a different way it is in Africa, where you're like, you want to study art, and then your parents or your community or your family
Oh,
will
really?
all have an opinion on it, because everyone else's like opinion matters in your life back at home. Like it's not just about you. Crazy. So yeah, I definitely want to do that, and I would love to have like a workshop specifically back in Nigeria. I want to go back home, like have a workshop of like maybe a month where I just bring in like younger, you know, high school or even younger kids, just to talk about art. Like I feel like there needs to be like a singular class where we just discuss art like back at home, and that's hardly something you kind of get to see, because even in school, like my high school, it was just like art history. So I do want to do that, and then, you know, eventually I would like branch off more to like mentoring kids, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Like I cannot wait to see that future like come to fruition for you. Like that would be great. And
I would have
like
so much fun with it. I know it.
and like just in general, I keep saying it's so important because it is, but like I just think it's great that you're speaking to the African experience of it, because like, you know, there like again, like there is solidarity between like those of us within like the full scope of being Black people, but there is
exactly.
you know, different culture stuff that we deal with, you know, me as an African American versus you as someone who is from a specific country in Africa, and like there are differences, and it's important to sort of like address that and like, you know, find a way to like meet in the middle, you know.
Exactly. It's so important. I agree. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that wonderful question, Inez. Let's see. We've got an anonymous queue. Is there a specific industry standard art software to use for character design?
Yes, there is Photoshop, but Photoshop costs money every month. So my alternative is, but I do not use this, wink wink, for any industry job, wink wink, Procreate. I literally do all of my Procreate, like my industry character design work on Procreate. They're like, oh, what software do you use? I'm like, oh, Photoshop, of course. They're not gonna know. How are they gonna know? So pay your singular $10 and, you know, get to designing. There is no need to stress yourself like that. Or worst case, because I know Procreate can handle like a lot of bigger files, do your sketches on Procreate, then you can move to Photoshop to maybe do cleanup and coloring. But Adobe Photoshop in general is the industry standard. And sometimes for Flash animation, you can use Toon Boom also to do character designs. More companies use Photoshop, but yeah.
I will quickly chime in though, as from a production person point of view. I think, as Umaimah said, you can totally use Procreate to like make your portfolio pieces and produce like industry standard level work. But I highly encourage you, when you get the job, make sure you're using whatever software when you deliver your files that they say you should be using. Because as a coordinator, if you're a designer and it's all right, I'm like, okay, cool, I need this prop now, and you give me a Procreate file and everybody else is using Photoshop stuff, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, I should add, make sure you're exported in PSD.
Yes, make sure you like, I'm not going to know how you did it, but that file better be the same file format as everybody else that we're working with, because people need to do revisions and whatnot.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, as someone who used to be a coordinator, I'm a storyboard revisionist now, but as a coordinator, You better make sure that file is saved.
Make
I'm
sure it's
coming
not
for you.
Procreate. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, make sure to make your PSD, guys. And you didn't get any advice from me. I'm not liable.
But seriously though, when you make your portfolio pieces, use whatever you have because Photoshop is expensive. And I mean, you don't need to acquire. You know what? Never mind. You can use Photoshop if you want, but it is expensive. So there's other ways to.
Bree. I know what you're saying. Oh God. We're gonna get like cops are gonna like burst through my doors like
FBI open up
piracy. Oh my
God. Next question. Let's see. Oh, well, we kind of looked at your portfolio a little bit. But someone asked, what type of art examples do you need to include if you want to go for color design? Should I pull up your portfolio to like take a look at it?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please do. And like right now I have the professional pieces, but of course the stuff that I had before I had my professional pieces were what kind of helped me get there. So Bree, sorry, can you go to personal art?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, visual development. Not personal art. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. So like something like this, the Viz Dev piece of like the girl by the left with the colorful different colors, like that's something that you can show before you. So that's if you're someone that's starting out, of course, that's something you can show as someone just beginning. You create your own character, then you show us like the variations that you've done before choosing the character's final color. And also do the same thing with props. Sorry, Brie, can you scroll down? So yeah, the bunny and the pop star princess thingy by the left, do the same thing with props. Do like show us your prop work in like without, if you're a prop designer, that is, show us a line-based prop work without any colors, because the color designer is going to handle that anyway. But because I like doing both, I'm doing both color and prop designing. I also have prop design that does have color on it. So making your own passion project pieces, and making sure that they're all in different like places. So I would have like, before now, I would have a character design tab, a prop design tab, and a color design tab, and just put everything where they should be respectfully. And that's even more perfect because if I am applying for a prop design job, I just select the link of the prop design page itself, and I add that as my website for the recruiter. That way they don't have to go doing the search. Like, I mean, in general, it's still easy for them. If they go to my homepage, they will still see it, but it's even better that I just lead them to the page that they want to see immediately. Then if they want to scroll through, they can do that freely.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you.
What does Chanel B ask, what does the day in the life of a character designer look like?
Hey Chanel. Right now, as someone that has unfortunately, well, I don't want to say unfortunately because I enjoy it too. I've only worked remote. Literally, I broke in during the pandemic. All the jobs I've had have been remote. So I have not gotten the opportunity to like leave my apartment and work in an office. But in my day-to-day, as for character design, at least, if let's say I get an assignment, I'm gonna use a recent one I got for like these cute mermaids I had fun with. If I do get an assignment, the first thing I have to do is do like concept sketches for them. So I'm going to start my day by like doing those sketches and a lot of reference research. Like I would say reference research takes like maybe 70% of the work because I'm looking at all the pictures on Pinterest, then I get distracted by other things on Pinterest. And I just like, I have fun. I love looking for references, you know, so I kind of start off with that. And if we're talking about the things outside of work, I would usually do that by like my table or while I'm watching NCIS on my couch. And I do those all on Procreate too. And, you know, I kind of send those off for revision or for advice for my art director for her to tell me if the sketches I have are good or which of the sketches that she loves and she wants me to expand on. And at that time, I'm probably, you know, either doing more graphic design practice, because like I said, I just wouldn't stop. I wouldn't relax.
You need everything. Just Thanos
everything.
collecting all the Infinity Stones. You're like, I need that one and that one.
I need that one. Exactly. So I go into doing like some other graphic design stuff, or honestly, I would have a Taylor Swift dance party in this apartment. If you follow me, you know I love Taylor Swift by now. So yeah. And then if I do get like a reply from my art director, we kind of go into color roughs for the characters. So before I even get to cleaning up or anything, I will do the color roughs for them and send them back. If they decide which one they want, I get it back and then I just do the final thing. Now, this is for visual development. I have not done much work in like character design for TV shows. I mostly do character design for VizDev because I'm more of a visual development character designer.
You know what? You should probably specify that like, well, not like you should do this, but more like, I guess for people who don't know that like visual development is more so a feature thing. That's not a TV animation thing.
Wait. Actually, well, it's also, yeah, it is
in development, TV. Like development.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we're getting into like okay, visual development is more so a feature thing if for like, if you're like in the middle of the movie and, but VizDev exists in TV, but only like when a show is like first being created. When you're like early in development, like like before like you bring on like your full board team and your full design team. This is like early I'm trying to figure out what my character looks like. That's what VizDev and TV looks like.
Basically, for feature, VizDev happens even while in production, but for TV it only happens in development, which happens before production, basically. That's just the gist of it. So, you know, it's all about like, I would say my day-to-day with being a character designer is all about like getting notes from whoever is guiding my work and just making sure I'm implementing that, taking breaks while I do that. Like I really love to just do my work, take my break, watch my show, or, you know, have my music going on and playing with my cat, Amanita, as always, because she always wants attention. So I would say that's mostly the gist of it. I would stop working like around 5 p.m. That's if I wake up around 9. If I don't, which I probably would not, especially since I started working from home, it's just encouraged me to kind of start later. Then I would maybe work till 6. But it's all about like, if it's freelance, it's all about the agreed timeline for the job. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions. I feel like I hardly know how to answer the day-to-day because I'm like, are we talking like how I've picked my outfit, or are we talking the designs?
I'm gonna kind of hop around. Well, you know, we might go over a little bit. Just, I know that it's 3:15. I know I said 3:15, but there's a lot of like really good questions, and I want to make sure I get to them all. In all honesty,
I'm okay. I'm chill.
If people are okay with that, maybe to 3:20, 3:30 could be pushing, but like, we'll see. We'll see. But there's some good cues in here.
I'll try to be fast with my answers.
No, it's okay. And I'm gonna hop around a little bit with these cues, but there is a let's see. Someone asked a very interesting question. So, Kaylin Simmons says, this may be a broad question, but are there jobs in TV animation that are permanent? Or are most of them freelance slash temporary? I have a graphic
Mm,
design background and work
mm.
as a digital designer. Hey, I used to do that too. We should talk. So just wondering how I can break in with those skills. Oh, we definitely should talk because that's exactly what I did. I was a digital designer working at an advertising agency, and I worked transitioned into animation. Yeah. But yeah, let's Umaima, you want to answer that question about are jobs in
Yeah.
animation permanent?
Hey, thank you for that question. The answer to that is that in Hollywood, period, there isn't a permanent job situation, especially if you're part of like producing stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like even actors don't really have permanent jobs. They're all like jumping from the one show to the other show, one movie to the other movie. So it's almost we're like the same thing where we jump from show to show, movie to movie. And that's the same thing for directors, producers. I would say the people that are more permanent would maybe the people that work on like studio backstage situations. Those are like the more permanent people. But for people that work on screen or work on the things that go on screen, hardly do we actually have a permanent job. At most I could say maybe you're permanent with a studio where they take you from one production to the other, from that production to the other. I know with Warner, I kind of did Steve Urkel, and then I kind of dipped my toe a little bit in something else they were working on. So it's like you could do that, which is permanence with like the studio for a little bit, but even that you could be done with that project and then you see like a position on Netflix and like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna kind of run there for a little bit and maybe come back, because I do know people that have been at Disney for 10 years, but all they've done is basically jump from production to another production. But it's not, I would be honest, it's not like graphic design at all. And for me, I guess that's one part that like attracts me to graphic design too. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I do want to try you out. But also I love animation so much. And if you like have a good you have a good network system, especially in the studio that you're at, and you have just good work ethic, like your people are comfortable with you, you're kind of good with your timing, I feel like that makes the studio kind of want to push you onto other projects on it. So I think it's all about your reputation that would help you a lot with sticking within a company longer.
It's ultimately like a gig economy in a way. Like we're all contractors technically. Really the only people that are permanent are corporate employees in animation. Like I've been a person who's worked on the production side of things. I've been a PA, a post coordinator, and just a straight up regular production coordinator. And that job is more permanent because on the production side of things, you are technically an employee of the company. Whereas when you're an artist, like Umaimah is, I mean, I'm an artist too now, but back then I was not. If you're an artist, you are contracted by the union basically, or contracted by yourself if you're doing freelance, and you're just sort of, as Umaimah mentioned, hopping from show to show. Like there is no permanence. Like what is it, like 6 months? Maybe 6 months you're fine. Or if the show gets infinite seasons and you do good work and it just doesn't end, that's kind of permanent. But if honestly like the lord of whatever studio this whatever station like the show is on could just say like, hey, this show's done, we're cut, you gotta go find a job somewhere else. Yes, it is very working in animation or like in entertainment, like film and period, it's nomadic. It is very nomadic. the people that are like very permanent are like the Bob Igers, the corporate people like way at the top, the current series executives, the development executives, like those people are permanent, but not us who are in the weeds working on the thing. We're not permanent, which is very bleak.
Sad. Sad.
Like,
but people make it work. Like, there are people that they make it work, you know. So yeah, just really target those like networking events, like, because it's those connections that will keep bringing you into stuff. Like Brie brought me into Proud Family, and my friend got me into Warner Brothers because like I was like, hey, have you heard of any jobs? And she's like, oh, I actually know this guy, Evan Palmer. Wanna hit him up? And then so like a lot of those like little connections you make will be helpful to you too. Don't make friends just because of jobs too.
I kept seeing your work online and I was just like, damn, she's really good. And then I was like, Eastwood, look, we need a black color designer. We should probably make sure we have a color designer who's black in our show.
Yes.
And Eastwood was like, whoa,
good job.
Get her in here.
Thank you.
Come here.
And now I've been in Bree's life for too long. She's like, I'm like, hey Bree, wanna
like,
come
get out of here now.
Oh, fun.
Alrighty. Let's see another. Questions. Oh, Amy Diak, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, says, what is the best self-care every artist should practice?
Hobbies out of art. I struggle with that. I'm not even
do something else.
I struggle with that. I was like, oh, I need to find a hobby. So I picked up gouache painting. It's still art. So do your best to kind of do something else that's not creative in a sense, like reading, music. It's borderline creative, but you know what I mean? Like, kind of try to separate yourself from it. Hiking, I'm scared of heights, so I don't do hiking, but I'm sure people that love it, that
avoid
would be a
thy
good
pencil.
one.
Yes.
Make it exactly, avoid the pencil. Try to find like coffee shops around LA. Try to find good food spots around
video games.
Your city. Play video games.
I like
garden,
Persona.
Baking. Do things outside of your art. That's a very good way, because it's okay if it's part of your personality, but don't make it so much that it like becomes detrimental to your health in the days that you feel an art block. You know, make it that, oh, I have an art block right now. Let me go do something else because I'm not putting all my heart and life around this one thing. Yeah. And of course, resting is very important. I feel like there's a lot of culture around like resting and sleeping from art colleges and the jokes that they make. I even recently saw like a post about it. SCAD was literally sleep comes after death. Like, what is that? So
are y'all SCAD kids okay?
No,
everything
we are not.
I hear about people I know that went to SCAD. I didn't go to SCAD. I went to Columbia College Chicago. I'm from Chicago.
We are not, and so, I'm pretty sure that place enhanced my insomnia too.
Like, no, we are not. Just
no, we are not okay. So, you know, like, try your best. And I'm not even gonna be a hypocrite. I still struggle with sleeping early because my brain is like 10 miles, like just going thinking of stuff. So, but do your best to kind of just be kind to your body. Like, our bodies will choose when we should take a break if we don't take a break, and it would not be a good time because you're probably like, I need to do this thing, but you've like kept yourself busy for so long, you could get sick or anything like that. So
man, with all the money that they ask from you, that is ridiculous, because that's why I didn't go to SCAD. I looked at the price because I knew people that wanted to go when I was in Illinois graduating, and I was high school, and I was just like, "Ooh, SCAD, that's where all the cool art stuff is. Let me." Oh, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
Nope,
money. I
never mind.
love the friends that I made. I think that was like, yeah, the friends and the teachers from there, love it. But the money and the workload, mm-mm. Yeah, no. So that's my advice. Hope that's helpful.
All right, next question is from, I keep doing this. Apologies for name mispronunciation. I'm so sorry. Adiola,
Adiola.
Adiela.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adiola.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay, Brie.
As a Nigerian myself about to graduate from SCAD, I've heard that it is hard to get into the industry as a character designer. Do you think it's best to focus on backgrounds and props in my portfolio to land a job instead of characters?
I wouldn't say that I think it's like better, but like we kind of get a sense of things, like little things that require just common sense. It's like, oh, if there's so many people in this field, let me try this other field. And here's a fun secret. Prop designer and character designer is both known as model designer on your union sheet. So you're making the same amount of money as character designers. So if you do love props and you're like, okay, maybe character design is too saturated right now, why not? Like, go for it. But if you love character designing, I don't see why you should stop yourself from going for it either, because like you have fun with it and you could just have the style that a specific project is looking for. Like at the end of the day, every artist has their own signature and has their own voice to their art. So make sure that, you don't kind of get discouraged and you're like, okay, I'm going to throw that away. But definitely, like, if you think it feels too saturated, it's all about like your own personal judgment and how much, like, what your comfort level is. And you're like, okay, maybe I should do more background design and background painting. But yeah, you're right. The truth is character design is more saturated than like backgrounds, because we all hate perspectives. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like definitely like if that character design job, again, speaking from a broad perspective, like if that character design job like isn't coming, I think it's definitely a really good idea to look into like props and whatnot, because like so many character designers I know like started as prop designers. Like not everybody got that character design job right away, but there are people who do, and because like they love it and they love drawing all the characters at weird angles, because that's the job. You're drawing the characters 5-point turn, 6-point turn, 8-point turn. If you can do that, then then it's okay. If you hate doing those things, then character design might not be for you.
Yeah. And even with the discussion of it being oversaturated, not everyone can do expressions, turnarounds. So if like you are good at that, a studio is definitely gonna like grab you first before anyone else. Because designing a character in 3/4 is view, but they need way more than that. They need you to be as good as drawing that character in 3/4 as you are as like a turnaround too. So, like there might be a lot of people going for this thing, but do they have like the good skills that's actually needed for the thing itself?
And making sure you're able to draw more than just your style, because like your portfolio could have like a lot of like, this is how I draw, and that's great, but you need to make sure you can draw, because the job is drawing somebody else's stuff, not your stuff.
Yep. So if you do all those things, like there's no reason for a recruiter to see your work and be like, oh, I'm not gonna. No, they will like run for you. So hope that helps.
Being a character designer is all about being, I don't know, like a very versatile gremlin that can just draw everything. And I respect character designers a lot, because I'm just like, just gonna be over here storyboarding. Y'all do that. That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Oh, God.
All right, it is 3:16. Umaimah, is it okay if we go till 3:30? Is that all right?
Keep going. Yes, I'm good.
All right. And for anybody that would like to, if you have to go, that's totally fine. We're gonna keep going till 3:30 because there are still some questions, and I think they're all good. And then we'll just wrap up, and yeah. Okie dokie. An anonymous person said, for freelance, you kind of talked about this a little bit too. How are you able to find work? Is it word of mouth? Do people reach out to you, or do you reach out to others? And you kind of spoke on this a little bit about, like, having a network and support.
Yeah, it's like a lot of it is network, a lot of it is, I think network is almost the same as word of mouth, where it's, an example is like Bree recently reaching out to me because of a different position that she found. And it's like, hey, there's this position that I just saw and I know a friend that works there, like, check it out. So something like that. And, this probably happens because like, all the people that recommend things to me or will like reach out to me is because I've worked somewhere that I've known the person. Like, I feel like that's always the common denominator there. But also I did go through, like, I have this thing where I just pick like one day and I cold email like 6 recruiters in a day or something. I'm like, and then I make sure, this is so silly, a little embarrassing, but I get my replies, so I don't care. In like the subjects, I would put like Disney / Warner Brothers artist or something, because whose eyes isn't gonna, right? Like, whose eye isn't gonna go, ooh, Disney art, So like that immediately catches the attention, and then the people would like reply to me. So far, I think I have been very lucky with the recruiters that I've reached out to. They do reply with like, sorry, we don't have something right now, or oh my God, okay, let's look at this position for you. And it's all from just like those cold emails that I sent. Or I would mention a friend that like told me to apply for the job, basically, and be like, oh, a friend said this. And there's no reason to stop yourself from just like reaching out to these people. And I go on Discord sometimes, type like Cartoon Network recruiter in like group discourse, and then look for whoever has spoken about them before, and I'll email them. So, you have to be proactive about the thing sometimes, because people don't know you, so you need to let them know you. And sometimes, even if they're like, oh no, we can't give you anything right now, there will be a different month or year where they'll be like, oh, I know this person that I spoke to. And so it's always nice to kind of do that.
It's always about being proactive. And again, like, I think a lot of us creative folks are just very shy people, and sometimes we feel like we're bothering folks. But 9 times out of 10, like, nobody's really bothered. People might be busy and they might not reply back right away, but like, people very much, Mia said it, don't be afraid to take up space. Like, it's totally okay to like, speak up for yourself. Because applying to a job on a website is one thing, but emailing a person and, if you reach out to them for like a coffee chat or something, that's another thing. And then they'll remember you and be like, oh yeah, like, I remember I met so-and-so, and like we talked about what they want. Like, I think they'd be a good fit. It's so important to network, but like, not network to like use people, like you mentioned, like, it's about like making friends.
And they know, like, a lot of times they know too, especially if you're like, oh, I saw that you were working for like this place, so they already know that, oh, this is gonna be / talking about jobs, and that could lead into the friendship too sometimes, so it's not like you're blindsiding someone, especially if you reach out to them on LinkedIn. Of course, it's LinkedIn. They know that it's a work conversation. So those things help.
Like, that's how I got my my storyboard revisionist job, actually. Like, every job that I've ultimately had in the industry, each place that I've worked, has not been because of an like application online. It's been because I've networked with people, told people what I've been interested in. Like, I've gotten storyboard tests from just applying online, but my actual like jobs that I've gotten have been from like connecting with people.
Yeah, same.
But like my most recent storyboard job, like I was talking to the showrunner of an old show when I was just a PA at the same studio. And that showrunner like was asking me about my interests, and I told him I want to be a board artist one day and be a revisionist. And then like 2 years later, after, I'm on Proud Family and like still trying to become a revisionist. Because like, my skills needed to improve a bit more because sometimes that's valid, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
I get an email from that showrunner who remembered our conversation, and he was like, "Hey, so do you want to like chat? Like we're staffing up for this Minnie Mouse cartoon over here. You want
Yeah.
to like meet our storyboard supervisor just to like chat with him." And then it low key became more than just a chat. It became an interview, like a low key
Yeah.
interview. And then a week later, they were like, "We want to offer you a revisionist position." I was like, "What? What? What? It's happening."
Exactly.
What?
Sometimes it's literally, sometimes it's really just about, like talking to people more than the application process of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know the person mentioned freelance, but like it's the same thing. Like
It's this, I'm talking about freelance because last year, 2022, that's mostly all I did. Yeah, I think since like February, I kept doing freelance work. So
let's see. We got a few more, and we are approaching time. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I will. So let's see. As a first generation, from an anonymous person, as a first generation African American wanting to be in animation, many doubted me and what I should be, partially due to the stereotypical careers among us. What advice do you have for us wanting to break in?
Yeah, I know, like I'm African, so our experiences are definitely different. But I feel like somehow Black people always end up around the same
I think
similar.
maybe this person might be like first gen African. Wait, no,
The
I'm dumb.
African American, yeah.
I'm dumb. Ignore me. I can't read.
The thing is, at the end of the day, I feel like Black people, we all end up around like dealing with the same kind of, pushback from everyone around us. And there's always the like part of like the stereotypes. There's always going to be people trying to like impose what they think you should be onto you. And oh my God, have I like suffered with that. I literally grew up in like a Muslim household, and I do not look very Muslim right now. So that's a very, like this is how you should be situation, but it's all about your happiness. Like at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to live the full years of your life, and no one else is going to do that for you. So think of the stress, how much stressful it is to like deal with what people think you should be versus the calmness and the serenity of just being authentically yourself. So while there's going to be all that noise and it's not going to stop, that's like the unfortunate painful part of it. It's not going to stop. There's going to be opinions, there's going to be people that will be talking, but they're not living your life. And that's all that matters. And you know that the way you are living it and the things that you're doing is what brings you joy, then you need to prioritize that and don't like let all those like outside voices kind of come into your bubble. And it's hard. You're not, it's not silly to think like it's hard. It's gonna be hard to kind of push back against that, but everything is like a slow process. So the more you practice that, the more you're like affirming yourself in what you enjoy and just like how you want to be or the kind of artist you want to be, you will eventually get there where you're no longer affirming yourself. You just like know that this is the reality of how I like who I am. yeah. So I hope that's helpful. Like, it's really all of these things. I think the most painful part of like trying to like get to a better place is that it never happens overnight. It's the waiting for it to get there, you know, but there's just like little decisions you get to make to kind of find yourself in that place. And having community always helps, of course, because no one around me right now that is going to tell me, don't do art, you can't do it, you know, like not everyone has the chance to kind of leave that community, unfortunately. So at that point, you kind of have to trust yourself to be that community for you.
All right. Well, it is 3:26. It's about to be 3:30 in 4 minutes. So, Umaimah.
Yeah.
Tell me, will you be playing? Oh, there is one more question that I need to ask you. Sorry.
Okay.
There is a question from someone who was trying to figure out you mentioned it earlier. There is a international Discord. Is that just for people in the union, or is that for international, like breaking in, or like everybody?
It's for LA, people in LA specifically. So unless you're in LA, I unfortunately would not be able to share it with you. And I'm sorry, I'm not the one running it. So it's the person that's running it. Like, that's their rule. I couldn't join it either until I like moved down here. But if you are in the union, there is generally like a visa committee tab too that you can join. And if you're on the Black and Animated Discord, there's also the international community tab. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bree,
Yeah.
right? So those kind of things, unfortunately, you will find that there's going to be certain communities that you can join because they're like focused on either because like of the states or whatever. But yeah, so this one I'm talking about is the LA expat group. And I don't know if anyone put my Instagram down, but you can message me if you are here and I can like send the details.
It looks like the person Ruth is also Nigerian, and she is in Burbank. And
nice. Yeah, okay, yeah, then you can definitely join it. It was like, yeah, I can't remember who it was. I think it's this Disney director that made the group, and I was just, lamenting about my visa struggles to her, and she's like, oh, we have a Discord group, wanna come join us? And we just all like scampered off and share our problems.
Ruth, make sure you DM Umaimah for that Discord, since you're here over in the good old land of LA, the good old expensive land of LA.
Good old expensive land.
Well, I didn't want to say just good, because it's expensive to be here.
Tell me about it.
I would not have moved from the Midwest if the jobs weren't here. But hey, it is what it is. So
it is what it is.
And thank you for answering that, Umaimah. That's very helpful. So now that you've talked about your wonderful career, you're gonna go play Kingdom Hearts, right?
Oh my God.
I just had to bring it up. I'm sorry.
I need an intervention.
Never.
Between Bree and I do not play, guys. If anyone gets excited, I do not play Kingdom of Hearts. I am sorry.
Kingdom
Hearts of Kingdom. I don't know. I am not a big gaming person. I just started gaming when Animal Crossing got big in the pandemic. If you're wondering how clueless I am about gaming, that's when I started. And, I just like my chill games where I can be a fake farmer.
Kingdom Hearts is chill. You're a little boy with a big old key. And
am I a fake farmer? You're
hanging out with Donald and Goofy, and you're beating up little ants
I do not want to beat up creatures. I want to fake farm and be friends with Chrissy and Marshall and all the other Animal Crossing creatures, okay? And Bree has just been pushing her agenda of Kingdom Hearts onto me since Proud Family, and I am sick of this. I'm putting my foot down right now in public. Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm gonna start dodging you like, oh my god, Bree is here. It's Kingdom Hearts and animation. Is it Nana or?
Yeah, you gotta watch Nana. It's
yeah, that.
anime.
I started Spy Family. Dresden made me start Spy Family.
Nice. You like Spy Family.
I enjoyed it. Yes. So baby steps. We're getting there.
All right. Then tell us to end off the call. What is your favorite Taylor Swift song and why?
Oh my god. So you said we have like 1 hour left, right? So I can talk about my favorite Taylor Swift song. Yeah. We have 1 hour, so I can talk about
we're not talking about Taylor Swift for an hour.
So the essay goes. But my favorite Taylor Swift song is Champagne Problems, which is a painful song about a woman like breaking a guy's heart after he proposed to her. In summary, all my Taylor songs that I love are like very depressing, and I love listening to them in the middle of the night, and that's my stuff.
Okay.
I hope you guys enjoy that. Go listen to Champagne Problems. Also, the Eras tour is happening by the end of this year, and that's like the light at the end of the tunnel. She's like,
this is going over my head, by the way.
It's a concert.
I do not listen to Taylor. Like, it's nothing against her. I just don't listen to her.
Don't worry, I'm the only person me and my sister, but right here in the US, I'm the only person in my life that listens to Taylor. So my poor girlfriend, she just gets all of it, because everyone else, I'm like, I don't want to embarrass myself. So I just take it all to her, and I'm like, Taylor this, Taylor that. Yeah. Fun.
Well, surprise, I'm gonna add Taylor's coming on the call right now. And I'm kidding.
Oh, she better. She better breathe.
Yes, I need to listen to Taylor Swift, and Umaimah used to play Kingdom Hearts. That's the
oh my god.
Thank you so much, Umaimah, for a wonderful tea time and sharing all this really great information. For those of you listening, we really hope that this was informative for you. And we look forward to seeing you in the next tea time and future BNA events. Yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, rest of your next day, if you're far away, whatever have you. And we will see you on the flip side. Have a good one, you guys.